Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Decided to report back for another video. It's been a little while since the last video that I did. It was, I don't know, about 2 weeks or so maybe. I had intended to do a stream the week after. Some technical issues arose and stuff like that, and so basically I just wasn't able to do it. But we're back. Yeah, like I'm genuinely okay, so I'll kind of tell you where I am, right? Just a little bit, just kind of before we get into the whole stream and stuff like that, right? So where I am exactly is I am not like an epiphany, but I had this little kind of moment there the other night where I was just kind of like, like I was well after I had done the first stream where I was back and stuff like that, right? And I was so kind of caught up in, yeah, I was wanting to get back out there and I was wanting to do like debates and stuff like that again. I wanted to do all this and everything else like that. And that's all fine. Genuinely, that is all fine. But for me, it was just kind of, I more so just kind of wanted to like kind of talk again. And with debates and stuff like that, they're fine. They're grand. They have their purpose and they do their job, right? Perfect. Well done. I love doing debates. I love arguing with people. I love the exchange of ideas and everything else like that. But it's just because mainly my channel is political content. That's been my kind of big thing now about like debates and stuff like that. Like because the other side, I mean, they're just unreachable. Like, how do you argue with these people? Like how do you get to a point where um you are talking with someone who, let's just say, genuinely believes that Trump won the election in 2020? How do you convince them that he didn't? You know, let's say that you believe that, or you're talking with someone who believes that like January 6th was an inside job. Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? Like, and so once I kind of got that like pressure off and like trying to appeal to the other side and stuff like that, man, I'm just gonna go out here and just fucking talk about what I want to fucking talk about. And it's like it might be a little bit insular, but you know what? Like, I'm sorry, like you people are fucking unreachable. Like it's insane. It's crazy. There's no way of actually kind of bridging this gap and about kind of getting, someone who I believe one side, you believe the other side. Let's hash out the ideas and see what kind of comes afterwards. Because it's just not going to happen. Simply just not going to happen. Somewhat kind of tangentially related to that, right? So genuinely, um, it's this thing about polling, right? Because I love to go on TikTok, man. I scroll it. I doom scroll that shit like for I could scroll that shit for hours on like a daily, right? But you come across when you kind of like tune the algorithm and stuff like that, you can kind of get like a lot of like certain kind of viewers and stuff like that, right? And so basically, what I have kind of done is I've chosen to um post or like these videos or these like images or stuff like that will pop up, right? And it'll be like, oh, that like Trump is winning in all these fucking states and he's gonna win in a landslide, and it's gonna be like that he's gonna win like 40 states, and they're like gonna lose spectacularly and all this. And it's just like, where in the name of Christ are you, like, see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You people are unfucking reachable because the data just doesn't agree with you. Like, it just does not agree with you, man. Like, your source has to be your feelings, because outside of that, you're like, what you're saying is just simply just not fucking true, right? So let's go to 538, right? 538 is one of the best websites for this type of stuff, right? um for, yeah, just looking at polls. And the research that they do, right? So they go like they amalgamate a bunch of different polls, but they'll like go into like the nitty gritty, man. Like they will go into like districts in states, and they'll poll all of this information together. They'll and like the like end result then is what you're seeing. It's basically like an amalgamation of metadata, essentially, right? So who's ahead in the national polls? There you go. Harris is up 3.4 points. This is what I'm saying. That's what the data is. That's what the data is. 538 is one of the most reputable fucking sources when it comes to, bundling together all of this information, right? If you're familiar with 538, you know that to be true, right? Let's go, but so and then it kind of breaks it down, right? Into more kind of detail, right? So let's just look over here. Let's just look over here. Harris plus 5, Harris plus 5, Harris plus 3, plus 4, plus 1, plus 18, plus 2, plus 3, plus 6, plus 7, plus. I mean, it's just Harris, 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 Harris. Okay, Trump. Trump plus 4 and Trump plus 1. He's leading in 2 polls. Just 2. 2 of them. Just 2 of them. And I mean, like, and this is all the same group as well, by the way. It's the same group of like pollsters, or it's the same organization that has put him plus 4 and plus 1. You have a bunch of different organizations that are all doing their individual polls and stuff like that. And look at what she is leading by. I mean, this is just insane. Like we haven't, man. In 6 of the 7 battleground states, Harris is beating Trump in all of them. And in the 7th, they're exactly tied. 48 and 48. Like, you can't make this shit up. This is insane. Like, when you talk about, man, the fucking comeback. Since the debate between Trump and Biden earlier this year, back in June, I mean, honestly, like, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible, the fucking comeback that they have had. Like, genuinely at that point, like, I was just kind of like, man, this is it. It's over. It's donezo. Like, it's just not happening. Not coming back. Trump was probably going to be president again. That's what was going on in my head at the time. And yeah, I was super fucking bummed out about it. Because, look, even though I'm Irish, right? And I'm an Irish person reacting to US politics, it's like, it still fucking affects us. And I have family over there, and, he's just so fucking bad for the country, man, and the policies that he was going to implement. And I don't care, right? As like a little bit of like a message, or almost like a love letter to any maggots that are in the fucking the stream, or that are going to watch this afterwards. You have to fucking realize, like, you have to realize, when Trump says that he doesn't know anything about Project 2025, he was seen on an airplane with one of the lead authors of Project 2025. He is considered giving that same individual a cabinet position if he is elected president. But no, I don't know anything about Project 2025. I don't know nothing about it. Nothing about it at all. He's lying to you, man. He is lying to you. You have to realize that by now. Like, I mean, this shit is just, it's unfathomable, man. Like how do you reconcile those 2 things? But then again, I mean, we don't know. We will probably never know. Because it's the same people who will say, no, he doesn't know nothing about Project 2025, who will also, unironically, for some reason, fucking say that Trump was one of the whistleblowers about Jeffrey Epstein fucking decades ago, and that's why he got close to him, because he was wanting to find out this information, then pass it over to the FBI. Fuck off. Shut the fuck up. No, he's not. That's not what he's doing. That's not what he's about. He's not doing that. You're just lying to yourself. Lie to me. Lie to me if you want to. I don't give a fuck if you lie to me. But you're lying to yourself, and that's the worrying thing, man. Is that you're lying to yourself. Like, you want, and you wonder why I'm not wanting to do the pace anymore, because it's just like, the fuck you appeal to these people? It's insane. It's literally insane. Um. So yeah, no, look, that's kind of where I'm at, just in my own head and stuff like that, right? And I mean, like Harris leading in the polls was one of the things that I was wanting to kind of talk about and stuff like that. However, there's another thing that we have to kind of talk about, and it is Donald's disastrous trip to Arlington Cemetery. And by the way, yes, I am calling him Donald. That is his name. He is not the president. He is a presidential candidate, but he is, but at the moment he's a private citizen, and I'll call him whatever the fuck I want to. So Donald made a trip to Arlington Cemetery, and it was this kind of cutesy. He was putting the wreath on the thing and whatever else, and then like there was this kind of not news story, I guess, that was kind of going around about like, oh, that like Trump showed up, but Biden wasn't even fucking there, and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't an official thing. Like I think somebody that was there, or like a family member of one of the 13 people that were being like, that were being honored there, that I think one of them like asked him to go or something like that, and he said yeah, that he would go, etc., etc. That's all fine. That's totally fine. He showed up, right? But it wasn't like an official like thing that was like, you would need like the president there, you would need kind of like heads of state, you would like, it wasn't like an official ceremony. It was just kind of like a commemoration of this was what was happening. But the reports then that came out then afterwards, when people were talking about what happened at Arlington Cemetery, was that Trump's staffers got um got a little bit annoyed with the fact that they weren't allowed to just do like a photo op. Um and Yeah, apparently his staffers pushed aside somebody who like a member of security who works at Arlington Cemetery, and they went out into section 60, and they did their little photo op, and they took their little short videos, and Trump made a campaign out of it. Now, there's a law to do with Arlington Cemetery, that like Section 60 and stuff like that. I mean, like like, you're talking about a literal graveyard filled with fallen heroes. So you're talking about like the like utmost of respect, right? You need, there is no wiggle room here. This is concentrate. This is consecrated holy ground. That that's where the fallen heroes go. You have to be somber. You have to be respectful. And if you don't do that, they don't really take very fucking well to it. There is also a federal law that prohibits photos or videos being taken in Arlington Cemetery for political gain, or for political affiliation, or to be used in a campaign ad, or like the legal jargon is there, but that's basically what it's stopping you from doing, right? But yeah, no, Trump's campaign people, they pushed her aside, and they went out and they took their photos. The army have responded to this. Like, this is what this is what kind of baffles me, man. Is that the fucking army is after responding to this. Like, you think that he's genuinely winning this little battle, or this little kind of difference of opinion and stuff like that? The fucking army is pissed at them for this. You have, in a single day, like, this could have been genuinely an okay-ish fucking day for Trump. Maybe get a little bit of a bump in the polls. Chris Peacock, Trump wouldn't have been there if Biden didn't kill them. The soldiers' families asked him to be there. Yeah, he did, but he also went in there and was like super fucking disrespectful and like basically kind of shat on all of the people that were in there. And I mean, like, look, let's not pretend that Biden backing out of Afghanistan was not a fucking shit show, but it was also Trump's idea. Let's not forget that. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I mean, like the army's been in one fucking fell swoop. Like he has pissed off every single fucking veteran, every single person who like genuinely calls himself a patriot in the US. Like, and I mean, like this is not exactly new territory for Trump. I mean, like there was the like at this point it's still kind of alleged, although I can definitely see him saying it. A bit like the whole kind of like suckers and losers and stuff like that when he was talking about kind of fallen heroes. He definitely said, that he didn't really understand why people went to war. I think it was in World War I because you're like, what was in it for them? He has like routinely attacked Senator John McCain for being a war hero. He said that he prefers his war heroes not to be captured. What a fucking wonderful thing to say about like an actual prisoner of war. And this, of course, is coming from the three-time draft dodger because he had a little bit of bone spurs in his foot. Just in case, sorry, because I actually fucking figured this out a little while ago. So we all knew that was like notorious, right? And that just like did not fucking happen. That he did not actually have bone spurs. Apparently the doctor that signed off that he had bone spurs was living in Fred Trump's building. And so he just asked him a favor. He was like, "Yeah, I don't want my son to go into to fucking war. Can you maybe sign this thing that says that he's like, but Jesus Christ." Watch Biden and look at high. Watch every time a dead soldier came off the plane. Disgusting. Fuck you talking about, bro? Legitimately, what are you like? Legitimately, what are you talking about? Watch Biden look at high. Watch every time a dead soldier came off that plane. Disgusting. What? Make it make sense. Um, the fuck was I? Yeah. So, I've legitimately lost my fucking train of thought. Fuck. Anyway, yeah. So, the Arlington fucking cemetery thing was an absolute. Oh my god, man! What an absolute fucking shit show that was. So, yeah. I mean, like, genuinely, in one fucking fell swoop, he has lost a massive part of Trump's own voting base. He was doing really, really, really well for he checked his watch for every soldier. Dude, what the fuck are you talking? Like, he checked his what? Because he was what? No, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, look, he was there. He showed up. He was respectful. He saluted every single soldier that was coming down, and like to be absolutely almost too fair to you, in the same way as that Trump had done, like how many fucking times when he was there on the fucking tarmac and the coffins were coming out of the back of the plane, he saluted every single one of them. Biden did the exact same thing. I don't know if he was or why he was checking his fucking watch, but I mean, like, that's such a fucking small thing. That's like just, anyway. Cool. Um, yeah, look, Chris, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to fucking set something up like where we talk, whatever else, my um business email is in my YouTube description page. So I don't know. I expect to hear something from you. What was I going to say? Yeah, so I mean, I was going to talk about Kamala's interview on CNN, but like genuinely it's not even that it's been done to death, right? Because it was only kind of new and stuff like that. But it's just that I just kind of felt that like it's not even that they were softball questions. It's not even okay. You really. I guess you meant to put think in that sentence. You really, Kamala could run USA. What is your favorite Kamala policy? Probably that she wants to restore. Probably that she wants to bring back Roe v. Wade. She's also really like, it's a super fucking popular thing. That Tim Walz did, is that like they put in free breakfast and lunch for children going to school, so that they have like, that they're fed when they're in the classrooms and stuff. That seems that seems really good. Kamala has also said that she wants to extend the child tax credit, that she wants to give basically like a jump start into she wants to give $25,000 to people who are applying to buy their first home. That seems like a really good idea. Do you need more, or is that enough for you? Because I know you only asked for one. Yeah, the CNN debate that she did, it wasn't even that she got softball questions, because they really actually weren't, but they weren't exactly necessarily tough either. It was just really weird watching it, because I kind of felt like the questions that were being asked of her, they were almost kind of like they were read and they were said from like a right-wing talking point like starting point, and they were really kind of, yeah, they were said in this way, like where it was, oh, here, look, fuck it, we'll draw up, so we'll like bring up some fucking clips. Kamala Harris interview, CNN. um I mean, I don't want to watch the whole fucking thing though. That's the only thing. Like, I don't want to watch the entire fucking thing. All right, okay, let's listen to some of it anyway. To some of it. We'll see how we go. We'll see how long we last.
And Vice President, Governor Walz, thank you so much for sitting down with me and bringing the bus. The bus tour is well underway here in Georgia. You have less time to make your case to voters than any candidate in modern American history. The voters
This
are
is
really
true.
eager to hear what your plans are. If you are elected, what would you do on day one in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you, first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward, in a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think, sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man. Like, they're all like really like fucking like milk toast answers, like, right? Like it's not like it's you know what I mean? Like, they're really just kind of like just like fucking basic answers. Like, nothing's really kind of like being said. See, this is what I didn't really kind of like about it. She gets into some policy stuff, but like for the most part, like it doesn't really kind of like absolutely kind of detail like exactly what she's gonna do. And I think that it's it's a it's a planned thing, it's a tactics thing, but I don't necessarily think it's a really good one, because the reason why people liked someone like Bernie Sanders, for example, is because like all he talked about was politics, and all he talked about was policy, and all he talked about was what he was going to do and how he was going to do it and this and that. That's all he talked about. But I mean, like, anyone who kind of like studies or who covers politics will tell you that, I mean, like, politics, especially in the US, I mean, it's a game, and you have to kind of play the game. You have to be good at the game. Um, and yeah, I just think that like someone who like is not talking about politics, like they have this like kind of like vibes thing, and like Kamala, like, she does give off good vibes. Like, you kind of like kind of hard to kind of argue with that. Like, she does give off good vibes, and I mean, like, Tim Walz is nothing but good vibes. But fortunately, he has really good policies behind him. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, this is what, like, I just took a lot of, I didn't necessarily take like issue with it, but like there was just kind of, I just wish it had been more. Do you know what I mean?
Nation, and I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day one?
Day one, it's going to be about, one, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard, which include what we're going to do to bring down the cost of everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest in America's small businesses, what we're going to do to invest in families, for example, extending the child tax credit to $6,000 for families for the first year of their child's life to help them buy a car seat, to
These are all
help
the
them
policies
buy
that I'm in
baby
favor of.
clothes, a crib. There's the work that we're going to do that is about investing in the American family around affordable housing, a big issue in our country right now. So there are a number of things on day one.
What about you?
Well, I'm excited about this agenda too. As I said, the idea of inspiring America to what can be, and I think many of these things that the Vice President's proposing are things that we share in values. And the child tax credit is one we know that reduces childhood poverty by a third. We did it in Minnesota. To have a federal partner in this, unbelievable, I think, in the impact that we can make.
You talked about, you call it the opportunity.
So yeah, Chris, you wanted to know some policies that I'm in favor of? Them. Those are good things. Cutting childhood poverty by a third, good thing. That's a good policy.
Economy. You are well aware that right now many Americans are struggling. There's a crisis of affordability. One of your campaign themes is we're not going back. But I wonder what you say to voters who.
Which, okay, no, I'm really, really sorry, right? Because, like, holy Christ, what an unbelievably good fucking campaign slogan that is. We're not going back. That is so fucking good. It is unbelievably good. And you could, like, it's a policy, it's a campaign slogan that you can, like, morph your entire campaign around. Like, you can, like, it's a way of attacking Trump on his record. It's a way of getting back at the things that he has done. It's a way of pointing out what he has done and then said and then saying we're not going back. It's just so good. And also, I mean, like, how do you argue against that? Yes, we are going back. What the fuck do you mean? Like, that's a really fucking bad, really bad answer. And I know this because not one fucking Republican on Twitter, on fucking TikTok, on wherever you get your fucking news or wherever you see your fucking reactionary people talking about politics, not one of them has criticized her campaign slogan because it's fucking excellent.
Who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. People.
Okay, yeah, look, you see, like, it's not that I genuinely think that she did a bad job, okay? It's not that I think Kamala did a bad job here. I just don't think that, like, the questions were kind of, like, you can get good answers out of somebody when you're talking about policies because, like, or if you just ask them, what are your policies, what are you specifically going to do, right? You can ask them that and you can get really good answers. Dana White did not ask her those questions. She did not say, what are your specific policies? How are you going to implement them? If they're like kind of in the realm of kind of like cutting taxes and stuff like that, how are you going to do it? She did not ask her those questions. And it's what's kind of frustrating about me, man, because I mean, like, good journalism is, I mean, like, the like goal, or like, so is said, of journalism is to get to the truth, is to find out what the truth is. So, I mean, like, if you're going into this and that's not what, you know what I mean? Like, that's not what you're not asking the questions to get to what the truth is, then you're a fucking bad journalist. And, like, I mean, like, she's really not liked, apparently. I don't know too much about Dana White. Like, apparently she did an interview with, was it Trump or was it JD Vance? I'm not actually 100% sure. And, like, yeah, she was a little bit harder on them than she was on Kamala and Tim. But like, yeah, it was just really, really, and I mean, like she literally said, I mean, when they were like, what would you say to the people who want to go back to like a thriving economy and stuff like that? Like, but like, fucking was it? Like, was it really, really, really? Was it? Um, because I mean, you look at what was kind of like, you just look at Trump's tenure and you look at his 4 years and stuff like that, like, and like, really, were people actually fucking better off? Like, no, they weren't. They just absolutely weren't. And another question that she asks a little bit later in this that I have gotten into, I don't know how many fucking arguments with on TikTok, is oh, well, you're vice president, why can't you do that now? Man, it's fucking embarrassing. You actually realize how fucking embarrassing this is? It's embarrassing that me, an Irish person who has lived in Ireland my entire life, who I have been to America. It was quite some time ago. Bush was president. It was in his last year, although he still was president when I was there, so it was quite a fucking long time ago. And I have to explain to people, I have to tell people who live there, who like this type, like their policies directly affect their lives, and I have to explain to you that Kamala Harris cannot sign an executive order. She cannot introduce a bill into Congress. She can write one if she wants to, but she can't introduce a bill into Congress. The only part of executive power that she has is to cast a tie-breaking vote in the Senate. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing she can do. That's the only thing she can do. I know this. Ireland, my entire life. Born and raised here. You guys born and raised there. You don't know this. I do. That is fucking embarrassing. I mean, like, the where do you go? Where do you go? And it goes back to the central theme, I guess. I didn't actually necessarily intend it to be this way, but it goes back to the theme, essentially, of what this fucking stream is about. How the fuck do you debate these people? How do you debate people that know so little about how your own government works? And about what the powers that each individual person in that government, what powers they have? Because you're genuinely annoyed at Kamala because she hasn't done all of this stuff yet. She can't do this stuff yet. Biden can. Biden can write an executive order about all this stuff, but he's not. I don't know if he's not going to, but he hasn't yet. He's probably not going to, because at least it's giving Kamala something to fucking run on. That's not necessarily great policy, and you know what I mean? Like, that's not really like, optically, that's not really good, but I mean, like, Biden, I mean, like, he's out, regardless of what fucking happens in November. He's out. He's done. He's donezo. Gone. Done. And I think the thing about it is that, he's leaving. Come January, he's gone. He's moved out of the White House. So he doesn't really necessarily fucking care about what's going to happen, like, policy-wise. He's going to leave some of this stuff open so that Kamala has something to run on, so she can say she's going to do this on day one. But unfortunately, did Kamala say anything of what I've just said? No. No, she did not. See, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't necessarily a bad interview, but it wasn't good either. Like, she could have kind of honed in on this stuff. She could have kind of really kind of, like, fucking... She could have said that. I don't have the power to do that. I can't write an executive order. I can't introduce a bill into Congress. I can't... Like, the only thing that I can do is to break the tiebreaker in Senate. That's it. That took me, what, 10 seconds to say? She didn't say that. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, it just wasn't great. Oh... Anyway, guys, yeah, no, look, I think I'm going to kind of stick to kind of shorter streams, man, because I don't want to come off as if I'm rambling and stuff like that, and I don't want to come off as if I'm just kind of doing it just for the kind of sake of it and stuff like that. Like, I want to talk about stuff that I'm actually interested in and stuff that, like, I actually fucking care about and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. only been about 40 minutes. It was only roughly about what the first one was anyway. Um, but yeah, no, look, I mean, like we'll kind of keep going with this. Maybe I'll start to kind of like game or something like that in the background, and we'll just kind of talk about what happened. You know, I'll trust that you've seen it. Um, and yeah, we'll go from there. I'm not actually 100% sure, but look, we'll see. This is the new kind of format, or this is how the new kind of way of the channel is going to work now. Anyway, is that it's going to be just I'm just talking to you about stuff that I care about and stuff that I'm interested in. I am not necessarily interested in appealing to the other side because I don't think that they're gettable. I just don't. Um, but yeah, no, look, I mean, just to kind of recap, you know, Kamala, if the election was to be held today, I think she takes it. That's not to say that it's safe. If you are in any of these battleground states, please go out and vote. Please vote. Vote early. Vote on the day if you can. But just vote, please. Yeah, Trump, genuinely, I think we're going to look back in a year's time and say that that was probably the nail in the coffin for his campaign, was what happened at Arlington Cemetery. Yeah, that's my kind of final thoughts. Look, please do like, subscribe, do all of that YouTuber shite, and I shall talk to you next week. Until then.